Let's talk about The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. The subtitle of this book is really interesting. It says, The Surprisingly Simple Truths Behind Extraordinary Results. The surprisingly simple truth behind extraordinary results. As an ambitious entrepreneur, I'm sure you're not looking to do something ordinary. You are looking to do something extraordinary, but you feel like you're frustrated because you're still not there in the realm of extraordinary. What's the difference? What's going on? Why are we not extraordinary yet? So let's delve into it. Let's figure out what is that one thing that takes us from ordinary to extraordinary. Now, just to clarify, Gary Keller, he is the founder of Keller Williams Realty, the largest real estate company in the world. So in the U.S. So there's definitely something he has done extraordinarily well, and we all got to listen to what he has to say. Now, the first big idea is the idea of the dominoes. I don't know if you're familiar with the falling dominoes and the principle of dominoes, but one of the interesting things about dominoes is that when a domino falls, it can take down a domino that is 50% bigger than its size. So a 2-inch domino can take down a 3-inch domino. And when the 3-inch domino falls, it can take down a 4.5-inch domino, and so on and so forth. Now, in math, we call this geometric progression, when the numbers increase in a fixed ratio over time. Initially, these numbers are small and you don't really think you're making much progress. But if you just allow this progression to keep on happening and you keep with this, it gains tremendous momentum to the point where you get from being just ordinary to becoming extraordinary. Now, if the first domino, the first falling domino was 2 inches tall. Now I gave you, let's first accept that we all have limited amount of time and energy in this world to make anything extraordinary or ordinary happen. We all have very limited time in this world. Let's say I give you enough energy and time to topple 60 dominoes. Now, we could either go and say, okay, well, 60 dominoes, how about you could either say, take 10 dominoes in 6 different areas. You say, okay, I'll push 10 dominoes in this area, 10 dominoes in that area, 10 dominoes in that area. I'll spread my energy for 60 dominoes amongst 6 different areas, 10 dominoes each. While another person says, oh no, I will just take 60 dominoes in one area. Now, who's going to get extraordinary results? Now, let's go with this plan. Let's try to figure out what will happen. When you have 10 dominoes falling in one area, what is the height of the 10th domino? What is the max height that will be? The 10th domino will be just about as tall as your bedroom ceiling if you start with a 2-inch domino. However, if you keep up, instead of spreading your energy on these 6 different areas, you just focus your energy in one area, and you said, okay, let's just instead of doing 10 dominoes here, 10 dominoes there, 10 dominoes there, let's just line them all up and let them each increase by 50% over time. What you will have is that the 57th domino will be as high as the distance from the Earth to the moon. That is how dazzlingly high it will be. So what I'm trying to convey, what the authors are trying to convey is, if you spread your energy all over the place, you really will not be able to achieve extraordinary results. You'll get ordinary results. Maybe you'll topple a domino as high as your bedroom wall in 5 or 6 different areas. But if you really keep at it, in one area, then you could topple a domino as high as the distance from the Earth to the moon. Now that is extraordinary. That is powerful. That is what this one thing is all about. So realize this, how you are spreading your energy in your life, and how you need to probably focus on this one domino, on this one area where you can probably topple off 60 dominoes, 57 dominoes if you just kept at it. The second big idea is the idea of extreme Pareto principle. Now, we all know Pareto principle, and for those of you who don't know, William Pareto, he was an Italian economist, and what he found out was that 20% of the people owned 80% of the wealth in the country, and 20% of the criminals committed 80% of the crime, and so on and so forth, to the point where he theorized that in life, 80% of our results come from 20% of our effort. And this has been shown true time and again, time and again. What the authors are saying though is Pareto principle is great. It is the 80-20 rule that 20% of our effort will give 80% of the results. But how about we take it really far to the point where we say, let's do a Pareto of Pareto of Pareto. What that means is like 20% of 20% of 20% to get us that amazing result. And what they're saying is, let's just focus on that one thing, the 1 out of 100, because that's where we'll get massively exponential results. Now, there's a simple saying that these authors have, which is that if you try to do everything, you might end up getting nothing done. But if you try to do one thing, you'd surprise yourself with the extraordinary results you would get. Another understanding we need to have is that things which matter most must never be at the mercy of things which matter least or things which matter little. Sometimes we just get inundated with all the mundane that's coming at us, but we must focus on what is most important. That is our key to great success, to extraordinary results. The next big idea is the focusing question. Now, what is this focusing question? The focusing question is that, first of all, understanding that we become our questions. The questions we ask will change our lives. As Tony Robbins will say, that our questions are who we are. We become our questions. Now, what is that one question? What is the focusing question you could ask yourself? So here's the focusing question, as the authors say. What's the one thing you can do such that by doing it, everything else would become unnecessary or unimportant? What's the one thing you could do in this week, in this day, in this month, in this year? Identify your one thing that you need to do. Whatever it is, that is where you will make the most progress. So really important to ask this focusing question to yourself rather than allowing yourself to get pulled away by all the different things you could be doing. Ask yourself, what is that one thing I could be doing today? What is that one thing I need to focus on this quarter? What is that one thing I need to focus on for this week? What is that one thing I need to get accomplished no matter what happens today? Because once you do that, you can create extraordinary results. The other big idea is focus. What the authors are saying is, don't spread your focus. Go 1 inch wide and 1 mile deep. Go deep. Don't go wide. Don't try to do everything. Go deep, because that is where the riches lie. That's where extraordinary results lie. That's where you can get tremendous, tremendous, tremendous leverage. And why should we be focused? Because through focus, we get real clarity. Bruce Lee used to say that a warrior is just an average person with laser-like focus. Average person with laser-like focus, not an amazing person with focus, but just anybody with tremendous focus. And that's what these authors are trying to say. It's okay, wherever you are average, but have laser-like focus, because then you will have clarity, you will have understanding of what is important, and you'll focus on that 1 inch width, but you will go 1 mile deep. Now that we've talked about why it is really important to focus on that one thing, let's figure out how to really do that, right? Let's figure out how we can really structure our time so that we can be most productive. What the authors are saying that we need to block out our time in advance. We need to block out chunks of time for this one thing. And Gary Keller says you need to at least block out 4 hours every day in order to get your one thing, in order to get extraordinary results. 4 hours every day for this particular task. Now, not only should you be blocking out this time, you should protect this time. So no matter what comes, you protect this time. And it's not just about spending a lot of time, but spending quality focused time on this thing that is really important to you right now. As we talk about in the effective executive, Peter Drucker says that concentration and we need as executives, we need to have consolidated chunks of time. We cannot have dribs and drabs of time. And not only that, we need to be able to concentrate. We need to be able to focus on what is most important, because only through concentration, only through focus can we do our most important work. Only through having these blocks of time, uninterrupted blocks of time, can we really concentrate, can we really bring all our intensity. It's almost like a lens. When you have sun's rays coming through that lens, when you have focus, when you have that concentration of energy, that's when the paper burns. That's when you get the needle to move. That's when you get leverage. That's when you get extraordinary results. If you, instead of, let's say, having a 4 hour block of time, you split that up into 20 chunks of 12 minutes each, 20 chunks would be 240 minutes, which would be the same as 4 hours. You would get nowhere close to the results if you just spent 12 minutes here, 12 minutes there, 12 minutes there through the day. You will never get the results that you want compared to just focusing, having that chunk of time, having this consolidated period of time where you do nothing else but focus on what is most important. And another idea to bring the whole idea of the one thing into action is having accountability partners. What Gary Keller and Papasan found out through some of the research that has already been done is that we're 76% more likely to accomplish a goal if we have an accountability partner and if we tell them what we're going to do. If we tell them this is what we're going to do, we're 76% more likely to get it done. So have an accountability partner, get an accountability partner. Don't try to go it alone. Don't try to think that you by yourself can do it. You need a team. You need to have this accountability in order to get the most important things done. Also, find a coach. They highly recommend that you have a coach because if you look at sports, you look at some of the greatest endeavors in life, people have coaches. Without coaches, there are no great results. So find coaches because they will help you get to your one thing.